One UI 8.5 is here on the Galaxy Z Fold 7 in the form of a beta. But the thing is, it doesn't feel complete. So let's go through the changes and what we know, and then reflect on what it could get when the final version drops. Welcome back to SamMobile TV. You're here with Daniel. This is the Galaxy Z Fold 7 running One UI 8.5. Now, I've gone through a very early sort of look at what it brings. And to be honest, it brings a lot of what the S25 Ultra has already got with that beta. But we're going to go through it anyway, so at least you know what it's got right now. Starting with the most obvious, the change to the quick panel. However, as we know from the Z Fold 6 and the foldable, the quick panel on the Fold isn't as good as what you'd hope it to be. So swiping down, you get the notifications, but you can't then swipe across to get to the quick panel. You have to go to the top right corner to bring that down. When it's closed, it has absolutely no issues. So you swipe down and across and it brings the quick panel across. But then you can swipe back and you can just keep going like that. But for some reason, when it's open, it's the same on the tablets, you swipe down and will not be able to go across to get to the quick panel from the notification area. Now, there is a way to sort of deal with that. You can go to panel settings and make it be together. And then what happens when you do that is you can swipe down and then swipe down again and get to the quick panel that way. And at least in that sense, it gives you the option of a double swipe rather than needing to go all the way to the top corner. So I just thought that could be a workaround, but until Samsung decide to bring that in, that's probably the way I'm going to use it. But of course, the quick panel is customizable. So I can hit that edit icon, and then you've got the option to fully transform the way the quick panel works. So I can move things into different places. I can make things vertical, put that in there. And then I can start to bring in sort of toggles. So I can bring my Bluetooth and my Wi-Fi up here into the middle. And that kind of gives me a different option and a different way of interacting. I can resize things. So if I wanted that one and the SmartThings one to be smaller, I can bring that into there as well. And then I can remove things if I don't want to. So I don't think I'm going to use modes, so I'll remove it. And if I want to add controls back in, I can go into the add a control and I can find different options in here. So if there's something that's not in there, so for example, if I want to talk to Copilot for some reason, I can drag and drop that in as a control and then expand it out so I can at least see what it is. I can also expand and retract this. Now, if you're wondering why there's so many toggles in here, it's because of good lock. So that's why that looks so crazy. Obviously, I'm going to go and change that later. But you can also expand how much that looks like. And then I can go in and edit in here, remove the toggles, and also take things out. So quick share, for example, I'll definitely will want to take that out of there and move that. There we go. Hit done. And now at least it looks a little bit cleaner than what it did before. And it's customized because I've got the brightness over here, volume over there. Great. Looks better on the front because at least when I swipe across or swipe down on the front, it fills the display. When it's open, the quick panel just looks like it doesn't belong. It doesn't fill the space. And that's the same even if you rotate it. It should just sort of take up the space and I think give you more screen real estate, especially with how big it is, but doesn't. The 8.5 update, I'll keep it open, also brings changes to apps. So for example, the gallery. What I noticed with the gallery though was that it doesn't quite give you the update everywhere. So you've got the side menu here for the Fold. You still get the floating sort of icons in the top corner here, but you don't get the floating menu bar because it's floating here on the side and it's much, much bigger. To see truly the transformation to a lot of the apps, you have to look at it closed. So if I close the gallery or close the phone, you'll see down the bottom, you get the floating menu bar that sort of gives you that visual. And then you can sort of scroll through and again, see the floating options. Apps that take advantage of the new design, you've got Samsung Internet, which is giving you a nice sort of new design. You can see the floating menu bars there and you've got all the card stack for the recent Windows and the menu, like I said, down the bottom. My Files also gets that same sort of rebrand. Well, not the same actually. It's kind of different here. The only real same visual it gets is the search icon down the bottom, but it's sort of changed and reordered how everything is stacked in My Files, which I kind of like the way it looks, but could be down to your preference. There's also visual redesigns for things like the settings. You lose all of the sort of settings headings that used to be in there. As you can see, all the stuff, the subheadings rather, used to be there to describe what was in that settings menu are gone. So now it's just the heading, and you kind of then have to go in and see what's in there. But it also gets that visual refresh with that search icon and a bit more of a gradient as it goes into the top and bottom, which is much nicer. Samsung also have redesigned some of the app icons. They've got a bit more depth to them now, so it gives you a bit more pop, a bit more sort of front and back forward depth. I don't even know what that means, but you get the idea, right? There's a bit more color, a bit more contrast, and it's sort of separated from the display behind it a little bit more. It's like it's in front. I guess that's what I mean. Samsung have also redesigned the way you can customize the lock screen. Not by much, but it's definitely there. So if I go into this and bring the lock screen customization up, what you'll notice is a couple of different things. The first one is that you've now got a weather button here, which when you select that, it adds in sort of like a weather effect. So if it's raining, if it's snowing, it'll do that over the top of whatever background you've got and give you that option. What else you've got is the option to sort of create like a little gradient with your background. So if you drag it down from the top, you can see it sort of slowly gradients out to the top of the display. And then when you hit done, it sort of keeps it there with that sort of blurriness. And every time you launch it, you can see that blurriness is there, which is nice. Then we're going to move on to camera. And I think camera, I expected there was going to be more here, especially with One UI 8.5 on the Galaxy S26 series. I thought Samsung, especially now that the beta has started after the phones come out, I was hoping to see a lot of the changes from here brought over, but they're not yet. So let's go through what is different. A lot of the changes belong to Camera Assistant. So pretty much all the big stuff that has been changed is in here. Things like the touch autofocus whilst recording video in Pro Video mode. That's a little toggle that's brand new. And the whole idea is you could choose to either autofocus and auto exposure whilst recording video, or just autofocus only whilst recording video. You've got focus peaking in Pro modes where you can always show focus peaking, or you've got the option to change the color of focus peaking and the thickness of the line in focus peaking. They're all options now that you've got inside Camera Assistant. You've also got the options for advanced photo mode controls, where you can actually, in just standard photo mode, have a bit more pro-like features, like the option to change the minimum shutter speed, the option to change the maximum ISO for light sensitivity, and you've got white balance control toggles you can add, and exposure value control toggles, but that already exists in there, so I don't know why you need another one that does the same thing. This is where I was hoping to see the 24 megapixel mode, but it's not there. What I will say that you absolutely should go and turn back on is both single take and dual recording, because with One UI 8.5, both those features, at least in the beta form, are gone. Samsung have done some things with the S26 to make sure that, at least for dual recording, there's a toggle inside the main video mode, but for single take, it's not there, and at least on this beta, that toggle also doesn't exist, so you should go in here and turn these on. Then there's some changes to Pro mode, where you can actually turn some presets on for Pro mode and save some presets. So every time you go into your Pro mode, you can choose a preset as opposed to having to always toggle the settings. So you can create from current settings that exist in the Pro mode straight away, or you can choose a photo and then it'll select from that as well. There's also a toggle here for the Tilta wireless lens controller. So you can use a Tilta wireless controller to operate the camera only in Pro Video mode. So that will be something that if you have like a big rig set up and you want to control the cameras wirelessly without needing to touch the screen, you can toggle that on, but it's only for the Tilta system, as it says there. So that's really it. To be honest, I thought there was going to be a lot more for photos and for the camera, but realistically, that's all Samsung have really added. The Expert RAW update hasn't reached this phone yet, so virtual aperture still only supports the wide camera, and the reflector feature also isn't here yet either, as well as ocean mode. The next thing to check out is to do with Galaxy AI. Now, we know with Galaxy S26, in the final version of One UI 8.5, there's things like Now Nudges, and there's some updates to things like Call Assist. None of those have made it here. These are all still exactly the same features that existed before. Samsung haven't updated, at least in function. Well, that's not true. Photo Assist has definitely got some changes. I'm about to go through that, but everything else at the moment is the same. So if we go into Gallery, okay, here's a photo of my kids at the shops. And there's a couple of ugly sort of things in the background that I maybe want to get rid of. So if I hit the Galaxy AI button here in the Photo Assist, you can see you've got AI Eraser, Move, Create, and Style. They've kind of overhauled how it looks and the design of it. With Create, you cannot as yet put the type to change things in yet. There's no text field. Again, It's in the final version, not here on the beta. What's changed so far is you can select your object and it will automatically bring that thing away, and then you hit erase. And then what it does, it'll just remove it. And it's honestly the best removal tool of any of the AI removal tools that you can get, and it's inbuilt into the phone, which is awesome. Now, you've got a couple options here. You can hit keep editing, which allows you to keep going. So if you're not happy with that first pass through, you can go and select some more. Yep, sure. Or you've got a history where it actually allows you to go back to the original, for example, and you can start from there. And as you keep piling the edits up, you can go back to previous versions. That's the new part of what they've done here with One UI 8.5, but that's about it. When you get to the final version, you're going to see a lot more. There's also been an update to how you can edit video. Not drastic. You could always record log video, but now you can edit it on device with LUTs. However, Samsung still haven't brought the extensive LUT editing from the final version, at least not in the beta. Again, a lot of the time Samsung just start with the bare, and then as the final version creeps up, they bring more in. So it's not panic stations at all. It's just what we've got right now. So you can hit the sun icon, if that's what it's called, and you can see you've got the LUTs where you can actually color correct. So it only gives you standard for now, which is kind of what it already did anyway. And then now you get more LUTs with the newer version of One UI 8.5, and then you can see that it color corrects it. Or if you think you know better, you've got the sliders that you can go and change yourself, should you want to. That way, you can really tweak the video to suit how you like and give it the colors that you want. And then you can hit save, and then it'll save that copy color corrected yourself. There's also been some tweaks to screen recording. So if you go to find screen recorder amongst the mess of the quick panel that I really need to fix, big one is partial screen recording. So you can just record a portion of the screen as opposed to recording the whole screen, which is a big change for me, especially if you don't want to show the whole screen off. You can select partial screen and then just select the portion of the screen that you would prefer to show off. So if I'm showing something off in the gallery, like the video, and I just want to screen record that part of the screen, hit play, skip countdown, and it's just going to record that area of the screen. It's not going to record anything outside of it. It's just that area. And if I go to recent and go to screen recording, that's the screen recording. And you can see because it's got the slither of white because I wasn't perfect. And the other big change is to do with Samsung DeX, where not only do you have some new settings like this new one here, command plus arrows to move windows, which was a setting before, and then they removed it. Now they brought it back via a toggle, but also the way you can now interact with DeX via extra desktops. So you can add up to 4 different desktops where you can have different apps open on different desktops. So you can have social on one, you can have productivity on another, you can have internet on another, and kind of keep things separate depending on the workflow and stuff you want to get done. But realistically, that's it for One UI 8.5. Samsung haven't seemed to do much more than the bare minimum right now. So what you see here is kind of what we already know about from the S25. There's no fold specific stuff. So if I go into advanced features and go into things like flex mode panel, there's nothing that's updated here. So I imagine a lot of the fold specific One UI features are going to be updated with One UI 9. So whenever that drops, that's probably the main headline that you'll be looking for, is foldable related stuff. But as for now, this is what we have. So we'll just keep seeing where it goes and let you know where it ends up. Hit subscribe to SamMobile TV if you want to follow along to One UI 8.5 and the beta journey, or you just want to follow along with Samsung's journey, because that's all we cover here. Go follow us on our website, sammobile.com. Also check us out on all our socials, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks.